This California weather, it's like 90 degrees. It's making me hot and he has the same effect on me. It's just something about the way that he's making me feel. My insides are out, I just wanna shout his name. My body's giving up on me, cause I don't know what to do with my fingertips.
Yes, can you give us a brief introduction of who you are and how you came to Sweden?
Oh yeah, my name is Ishmail Kargbo, and I'm originally from Sierra Leone. I moved to Sweden in 1999, to be precise, 22nd of July 1999. I had a very rare opportunity to come to Sweden just after the Civil War, and since being here, I have been working on several projects. But the first thing I did once I got settled in Sweden was to create a platform for Sierra Leoneans in Sweden. So I had a discussion with college mates by then. That was in 2004. We decided to create an organization for Sierra Leoneans, which is called the Organization of Sierra Leoneans in Sweden. It's survived over the years, and it's the largest organization, well organized organization for Sierra Leoneans in Sweden. Through the organizations, we've been able to bring together a lot of Sierra Leoneans from different parts of Sweden. And as late as this year in March, we had an election for the new chairman of the organization. And we have made it a priority to extend the organization's activities throughout Sweden. So we have put a plan together, which we are going to implement very soon. Beyond that, personally, I have been studying in Sweden almost like since I moved to Sweden. I have been constantly studying, and a result of which has made me achieve 2 master's degrees at Stockholm Business School and Stockholm University. And the latest master's degree was in strategic public and political marketing, an area which has pretty much interested me for diverse reasons. And I'm a family person, got a wife and 4 kids actually. One is grown, so that is why normally I leave him out of the equation. He's a high school graduate and he's trying to go to university. Otherwise, the other ones are 3 younger kids.
Okay.
And we live right here in this community. It's called Huddinge. I've been here for a couple of years and feel very safe living in this area. It's close to like home. It's an area with multi-ethnic diversity is a background. So I love being here.
You're also involved in politics in Sweden. Can you tell us about that?
Oh yes, I've always been a politician, or at least in my mind, I think I'm a politician because my life has been a public life. I've been engaged in several activities, whether it's integration issues, whether it is immigration issues, whether it is political reforms and stuff like that. But over the years, I've grown to love the fundamentals, the values of the Social Democratic Party. So as a result, I call myself a Social Democrat. And for some years ago, I had the opportunity of serving in a local municipality in the Culture and Recreation Board. I served there for 2 years and left because of university studies. And this year, after the elections, last year, I was officially appointed in the care sector board, which is one of the biggest in the community. And it's an opportunity, or it's an area of interest that I have also given me so many chances in life. I have been able to meet a lot of people. I have been able to talk to people about Sierra Leone on the highest political level, and it's so far encouraging, and it's something I love doing besides all other activities that I do on a daily basis.
Oh, great. You are one Sierra Leonean who has achieved a lot in Sweden. Would you say there are other Sierra Leoneans who are equally achieving that much?
Definitely, there are quite a number of Sierra Leoneans who have also tried or strived to achieve, say, great things in the society. I have a lot of friends that I talk to on a daily basis. We all have like same interests, whether it's politics, whether it is development geared towards Sierra Leone, whether it is development geared towards Sierra Leonean community. Yes, I sit here and as a proud person to say that yes, our community has a lot of people who have taken the opportunity, the chance that have been given to us by the Swedish government and the Swedish states.
Okay. You recently took some Swedish people to Sierra Leone to see for some sightseeing. Tell us about that.
Oh yes, it's part of a project that I had been working on over the years. And as I mentioned, when I did my second master's, I wrote a thesis on nation branding. And as a result of that, or during the process of the master's program, I developed interest in tourism. Of course, Sierra Leone is one of those places that you hardly hear of in Scandinavia, but it's one of those places that actually have a lot actually to share with the international world. So doing projects in school for embassies around Europe gave me the motivation to want to do something for Sierra Leone. So I tried to replicate some of the projects that we did at the university for other European countries, and try to take those projects to implement them in the context of Sierra Leone. And as a result, I started working on a concept that I have called the Other Sierra Leone, which is based on me projecting the side of Sierra Leone that you don't normally come across in Western media. Because normally when the Western media portray Africa, they do it in such a way that it creates a sense of depravity, creates a sense of impoverished society, creates a sense of an Africa that is always begging. But the fact is different when we tell our story. That is why I took the initiative to start to tell the story of Sierra Leone. It's been a country that had been battered by civil war. Yes, it's a fact, but it's a fact that also belongs to Sierra Leone's history. We've moved past that. The civil war ended like for 20 years ago. So since 1999 to today, it's a completely different Sierra Leone. It's a Sierra Leone that is involved in so many international projects. It's a Sierra Leone that is also today lending soldiers for peace missions around Africa. So it's a Sierra Leone that has taken off, a Sierra Leone that has come of age. But specifically the tourism industry, I feel emboldened to work with the tourism industry because of the fact that it holds in my mind the greatest potential for Sierra Leone. It's an industry, if once we get this together, it could open the way for the country as a whole, and it's an industry that is not discriminating to anyone.
What is there to see in Sierra Leone?
Oh, apart from the iconic iconographic images that you can find everywhere in Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone or Sierra Leoneans are people that are very welcoming. So for tourism, first and foremost, you have to ensure that the people have a very liberal mentality in such a way that they accommodate whoever comes in. And Sierra Leone has a coastal area that is over, I forgot exactly the distance, but you would say it's over 300 kilometers or so. And it's really a beautiful spot. Speaking in terms of white sandy beaches, of course, to see just white sandy beaches restricts us to believe that we only have white sandy beaches. We have gold sandy beaches in Sierra Leone, without an exaggeration. You find them along the Freetown Peninsula, the entire north, and even to the southernmost part of Sierra Leone, because Sierra Leone lies on the Atlantic coast. So it's such a beautiful area. Beyond that, we have a very rich history. Sierra Leone was once a slave post, if you want to say so. So as a result of that, even though I always feel slavery is the most inhuman thing that occurred in Sierra Leone, but it's left something that Sierra Leone actually can point to, say, this is part of our national identity, it's part of our legacy. So right across Sierra Leone, you see historical structures. You go to Bounce Island, you go to Banana Island, you go to Freetown, you see Cotton Tree in Freetown. You go to the south of Sierra Leone, you see beautiful places. You go to Bount Island, which were all old slave posts, and you go to Freetown, a lot of old churches. And beyond that, Sierra Leone has 16 ethnic groups, and I can tell you each and every one of the ethnic groups has its own norms, traditions, something to offer to the unsuspecting tourists. So it's a beautiful place to visit, actually.
How easy or difficult is it for you to convince people to visit Sierra Leone?
It's difficult in the sense that from a touristic perspective, people, especially Nordic people, they are spoiled with areas, with information about areas that they had been before. It's difficult to change their itinerary, their mental itinerary. Say, oh, we go to Thailand, we go to Gambia, and now we are talking of Sierra Leone. Where is Sierra Leone? What do I know about Sierra Leone? But the images that I have been presenting through my website, my Facebook, my Instagram, have made people to become very curious about the destination Sierra Leone. And when I went to Sierra Leone for 3 weeks ago, I actually took with me a group of travel agencies from Sweden and professional photographers, just to show them firsthand the product that I have been talking about, what we have there to sell out to the international world. And all those who went with me, they are now even thinking of revisiting Sierra Leone, and some of the travel agencies are now even requesting packages to start to sell trips to Sierra Leone.
Oh, wow.
So on that front, I'm very satisfied, and I'm very humble in this development. I hope to see more and more happening for Sierra Leone and for the tourism industry.
Yes, in your recent travel to Sierra Leone, will you say the economy of Sierra Leone is booming at the moment?
Well, I cannot tell you firsthand the status of the economy, but from what I know, I pointed out in our earlier conversation that we just had a new government in place, which means they came in with their own priorities and way of doing things. So as a result of that, we see a slight tightening of the economy in such a way that when you talk to the ordinary person in Sierra Leone, they will tell you things are hard. But the government is claiming that they are putting all these measures, austerity measures, or whatever you want to call them, in order to get the economy up and going. And I am a strong believer of any government. Doesn't matter whether it's a government.
You worked with the previous government.
Well, not in terms of me working and receiving payments, but as part of the project that I do, the Order Sierra Leone, I had the opportunity to be appointed to represent Sierra Leone as a tourism promoter in the Nordic. So the tourist board asked me to lend a hand to help promote Sierra Leone in this area. So yes, in that regard, you will see I was serving the country officially.
Okay.
And since the new government came in, there are a lot of changes that are taking place. But the connections are still there. We're still working close with the tourist board, and hopefully with the new Minister of Tourism and the Tourism and Cultural Ministry. I believe things would happen. It's just a matter of time before they get settled.
So where do you see the tourism industry in Sierra Leone in the next couple of years?
In the next 3-4 years, the story that will be told of Sierra Leone will be completely different. The industry is rapidly growing. It's probably the fastest growing in the region, and we are a very strong competitor. If you want to compare us to Gambia or Senegal or Cape Verde, we have a lot to offer, and as a result of that, if we properly package our products for the international community, I think sooner or later the story will be completely different, and Sierra Leone stand to benefit greatly if the tourism industry is well presented to the international community.
Okay. It's nice talking to you, and we can't wait to see those videos and pictures you took from Sierra Leone when you last visited.
Oh, definitely. I'll share that with the international community.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.